This podcast features immature people talking about very mature content and is intended only for adult audiences. Hello everyone, and welcome to The Pen is Mightier, the world's greatest and possibly only audio, fanfiction, and erotica competition. I'm your host, Paul JP, and today we are coming for blood. The theme of this week's episode is rivals, and I have a collection of guests that are perfectly poised to push each other to the limit. I have really been looking forward to getting these three individuals into the Coctagon together at the same time. And I'm pretty sure you're going to figure out why once I introduce them. Our first guest is a past winner on TPIM. She is the creator of MCU Improvised, one of the co-hosts of pop culture review podcast Rude Dude Takedowns. It's Bridget Cann.
Hello. Welcome to the workroom. Hi, Paul. I'm back.
Hello. I see you are in as boisterous a mood as you always are.
I know. I don't know what it is. The moment you turn it on, I'm like, all right, time to get back to who I was 2 years ago. return. Nature is healing. Okay, no, I'm a mess. Okay, listeners.
Oh my god.
I've gotten worse. I don't know what's happening. Oh boy, the timing of this podcast is so bizarre because I have had so much flaming shit in my life, and so I just truly took it out in prose today. So I'm excited to be back.
It's interesting you use the phrase "taking it out" because the first time we had you on the audio version of this show, you wrote a story about it was Donald Trump getting fucked by Gritty, the mascot of the Philadelphia Flyers.
That's a good story.
And you characterized your writing of that story as working a lot of things out. And then the second time we had you on this show, you came on 1 hour's notice and wrote something so deranged.
Yeah, I mean, as Candace has said many times, I should get therapy, but I say that with love. I say that with love. That's true. And I'm like, this is my therapy. The only things I have written in Google Docs for the last 3 times were those fanfics. I'm sure the FBI is like, what the fuck? I'm sure
they're watching her every move and they're afraid of her.
They're like, well, I've told Candace and Chris this story on our podcast, but the last time I got in trouble with the police was because of fanfiction, so...
What? How have I not introduced?
Heard this story? Let's move this along.
Well, I mean, you can't just bring that up and then move past it.
We gotta. I want to get into on this. No one knows who I am.
What do you mean, the police?
So if the listeners need to know, there's stakes. It's escalating. I could return to my 12-year-old self at any time.
Jesus. All right. Well, our second guest. Our second guest is one of the co-creators of My Immortal, the Webseries, and is also one of the co-hosts of pop culture review podcast Rude Dude Takedowns. It's Candace Meeks.
Hi, it's me. I'm also back.
We had you on the show for our Valentine's special last year, so I think that was right about the same time of year.
Yeah. Wow, that's all I've done in a year. I'm depressed.
Well, I hope that, like Bridget, you can work a little bit of that out with your story today.
It's a love story, so...
Yeah, good.
I felt like there was going to be some real questionable topics this time around because of rivals to lovers, and so I decided to make mine romantic.
Well, I cannot wait to hear it. Some might know Candace actually is really good at writing fan fiction.
Yeah, she's actually technically a professional here. So
It's true.
It's only because I write erotica.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of us just do this for the love of the game.
I mean, Bridget and I have both won this podcast, so I don't know.
I know. I've never won. I don't win because I always write it too. It's too niche. It's too. It could be a spec script, but there's sex in it, or it could be a love letter. And that's what the people want to buy. They want to buy stuff they can diddle themselves to. Not the disgusting trash you two are writing.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I do have one more guest for you today.
Yeah, speaking of disgusting trash.
It's another former winner on The Pen is Mightier. He's a writer for CBC and one of the co-hosts of pop culture review podcast Rude Dude Takedowns. It's Chris Middleton.
Hi.
Hello, Chris.
Not to police you on your own podcast. I know I really did that a few minutes back.
I loved it.
Totally fine.
Really, Candace and Bridget will note that I am the police on the podcast.
There's the police.
Oh my god! I feel like there must be some saved MP3 files out in the ether that are just Candace and Bridget going for 1 of the hours.
I mean, at a certain point, I did think about because when we were trying to think about bonus content, I did edit out all of these ums and ahs and other things, and I have a separate file that's I think 10 hours long with all of the stuff that I've cut out of the podcast from a certain point onwards. There's some great stuff. We talk so much shit.
Yes,
on
we do.
mic.
We're so awful.
Yeah, we can't really ever cross Chris. Chris could really ruin us if he
It's
releases
true.
any of our shit
Chris
talk.
could get us canceled.
Yeah, you really want to know all of our opinions about the comedy community in Toronto? Really, just come to me. I will end everybody here.
Even you, Paul.
Oh,
even you.
Even you.
Yeah, I was on that one episode, and I was so angry on that episode.
That was funny to me. That's where I get my giggles.
I was
Oh boy.
so mad.
I want to
about
watch men just be destroyed by that show.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you were on it when it was Riverdale Rude Dude, so
Yes.
that's the...
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think that's very important to the audience needs to know that our relationship initially was Riverdale. That's how we came to be.
We were Riverdale for a year and a half, and then we all were like, no more.
We can't anymore.
I just remember having a conversation with Bridget just being like, I can't do this anymore.
I know. We were standing at a corner and I was holding a dog and I was like, same. It was our war story. We're it's numb for us.
Hey, the show's great. I recommend still go watch it. I know Riverdale doesn't need a plug on this podcast, but
No, please go watch Riverdale, please.
it's great. Season 6, Chef's Kiss.
Season 6.
If it lasts more than more than one more season, and I'm going to say one more season, more than one more season, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
Free those actors. Free them.
Yeah, please.
Free them.
I really want a complete changeover of casts.
Yes,
it needs to be a soft reboot with new people.
Oh my god, make it Glee. Make it Glee.
Yes.
Season 5, they switch everybody out.
I mean, they did time jump, so that could potentially happen or ostensibly happen.
True.
Yeah,
I don't know if I made it to the time jump.
You don't.
That's season 5. Beginning of
Yeah.
season 5 is the
I
time.
did give you a
I
brief
was-
synopsis of what was happening because I was like, oh
That's
yeah,
right,
and
you
they
did.
found an alien pickled in maple syrup, and Betty's in the FBI, but she already faced off against Buffalo Bill, who's still alive and hunting her sister down on the lonely highway.
Classic.
And Archie's
Oh,
a
right,
fireman.
that did happen.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And Archie's
Season
a
6.
fireman.
And now he's sacrificed to the Lord of Time
Yep.
so that they can
Yeah,
have a
or
good
whatever.
harvest or whatever.
Yeah,
We
that's
don't make
true
this
too,
shit
Paul.
up, okay?
We
We
didn't
don't
make
make
this up.
Yeah.
This is in the show, Paul. Help us.
My favorite thing is watching TikToks about how people explain Riverdale and everyone in the comments just being like, you're joking, right?
No.
It's like, no, we're really not.
Oh, I got halfway through the Gargoyles and Gizmos arc or whatever it was.
It should have been called that.
Yeah.
I don't. It was
Just-
very loose Dungeons and Dragons satanic.
It's
panic
Gremlins
kinda.
3 in Riverdale.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, For our listeners, I'm sure you could see why I was so excited to have these three on the show at the same time.
Because we're psychopaths.
Yeah, we are. Listen, we
Yeah,
live,
and-
breathe, eat Riverdale, and we write like Riverdale.
Look, I feel like I have to do here is basically add the loose pretense of competition, and then just basically let the three of you rip like fucking Beyblades, and it'll just be audio gold.
Oh my god.
Oh, God.
Fun fact, you can hear me in this is a weird plug, but my friend does a bridge series. He like edits and creates
Oh
a bridge
yeah,
series.
I forgot you're
And
in Beyblade
he-
Abridged.
Yeah, I'm in Beyblade Abridged. And it's so we quit after 3 episodes because my friend's like, I can't watch the show. I can't keep watching
my
frame
God.
frame of the show. And it's
I love
so
that this
funny.
is how all of your creative endeavors.
My friends are
end.
like,
They're
hey,
saying
you're a
just,
nerd. And
I
I'm like,
can't do this anymore, Bridget.
Yeah, this podcast, Beyblade Abridged. couple
The
other things.
exception was Marvel, because then I went, I can't do this anymore.
Mm.
She just, that's just who she is.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care.
Well, I did see Spider-Man No Way Home last night.
Candace has it, so we can't do spoilers.
Won't do any
All I
spoilers, but
want is to watch it. All I want.
I
I
mean,
know, me too. That's like
great
the
way to go see it is, fucking 10 p.m. on a Sunday night.
Mm.
That theater was
Oh,
empty.
that's what I
Write it
want.
down, write that
Sure.
down.
Write it down. Write it down.
Yeah, it was great.
No, don't tell anybody. He's lying.
You tell us that privately.
Sorry. Anyway, it was very, very good, and Spider-Man is my favorite.
Oh, I love
so.
Spider-Man.
I just
It's
rewatched
such a
all
good
of the
time.
old Spider-Mans.
Oh, hell
So
yeah.
I watched the Sam Raimi trilogy and then Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2.
Hell yeah.
And I will stand by this opinion that Andrew Garfield is the best Spider-Man
He is, absolutely.
He is.
in the
100%.
worst Spider-Man movies.
Yes, it's crazy.
Hands down.
No, honestly,
Also,
speak. Yeah, it's so true. It's so true.
Also,
It's
his New
Yeah.
York accent. Oh, perfect. I love him.
Beautiful.
Have you guys seen
I
the
love
meme
that
about
fucking
like
guy.
he was working his Garfussy?
Yeah.
Nope, but
Okay.
out of context.
It's the idea is that he has like like work your pussy, but he's like working his Garfussy because he's Garfield.
Oh,
No,
We have to go.
I understand the etymology. I understand that you can
Oh, I
put the
gotta
words
go.
Garfield and pussy together and it would make the word
All three of us are
Garfussy.
on Twitter and you're not. We understand the concept of amalgamating someone's name with pussy.
It's such a funny. Have you heard of this concept?
Bridget, we just
I-
watched Cobra Kai. La Pusso?
Yeah, there you go.
I love-
Literally 45 minutes ago, I heard an audio clip of somebody who'd used a Vocaloid to synthesize Kanye West's voice and make him say, that Mr. Krabs a thick bitch, let me see that crussy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm
There
familiar.
you go.
Ugh, we live in a golden age, but also
what-
a terrible age.
A golden
You
age for who? A golden age for who?
I love that you said, like, oh, have you seen that thing? He was working his Garfussy. And I was like, no, explain what that is. And you're like, oh, well, if you put the words pussy and Garfield together, it makes it. It's like, that's not explaining it. That's just.
I love it. Oh, God.
Anyway, can't wait to see that movie.
Yeah.
Great.
same.
I can't wait.
How today's show is going to work.
3 hours in.
3 hours in. These performers are going to go head to head, presenting readings of erotica in hopes of winning the approval of the others. Along the way, we're going to play a couple of short bonus games for extra credit. And at the end of the episode, we will all collectively decide who has done enough to be named the winner. Or maybe we'll argue for 20 minutes and then arbitrarily declare that this was a waste of time. I don't know. I'm really looking forward to this. So, the theme this week is rivals. Obviously, y'all know I'm hoping that pitting you three against each other is going to create dynamite. But I'll start off by asking, would any of you consider yourselves especially competitive?
Yes, I am, but I haven't been on this podcast. I don't know. It's been a hard time.
Yeah. I've kind of given up, so I'm not competitive because I don't care. I mean, I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I love being here, and I will win beat every last one of you. Oh my god, fuck me.
I love you,
I
Chris.
came here to play. I came here to ruin lives. I came here to have no friends at the end of this. Candace is going to kick me out, and I'm going to live on the streets.
Oh no.
No, I mean, I don't know. I would love to win, but I also know I respect my fellow rude dudes. I anticipate them bringing always great things, and also I just want to make them laugh. I just want to make you guys laugh. That's what I want.
Yeah,
that's why I wrote this. I wrote this to make Bridget laugh. So like,
Yeah, same.
That was it.
We actually had nachos last night all together because it's the first time we've seen each other in the new year, and it was so lovely.
Yeah.
Oh.
I also fully admitted that I had not started, and I had all day to work today, and I wrote this in an hour right before coming on.
Another one, Paul.
Hey.
But only you were asked last minute. I was asked well in advance and made no time for it. So it's fully on me.
I believe in you.
And I'm going first, I guess.
You are, yeah. We're going to get this competition started. Our
Policing
first
the
story,
podcast.
Chris Middleton. You are up, my friend.
Okay. So, like, yeah, as I said, it was an hour before that I've wrote this. I really picked low-hanging fruit, but I think it's timely because again, I'll just start. Okay. Beijing, 2022, the Winter Olympics. The skiers are freshly coming off the slopes in their gear. A mixture of sweat, disappointment, and victory wafts around the men's locker room. Sonic the Hedgehog removes his helmet,
Yes!
which surprisingly was able to fit all of that weird head hair, and tosses it in front of his locker. Dizzy on the bench, tired and furious, removes his ski boots with a bunch of fanfare. He's always been a sore loser, but today's silver medal is just another knife in the back. This was the Winter Olympics, after all. There were no running events, and I really didn't have time to fact check that there actually are no running events in the Winter Olympics, so we're just going to go with that for the sake of
God.
He knew that if there were running events in the Winter Olympics, which there might be, but I'm not sure, so now no, his team would win. Shadow comes behind him and pats him on the back. Don't worry, sport. We'll get him next time. Tails comes running up behind Shadow. Yeah, friend, you better believe it. Tails then did some ninjutsu signs, and because he's very into Naruto at the moment, and then Naruto runs back to his locker.
Oh my god.
Sonic hangs his head in defeat and stares across the locker room. With his red cap, signature mustache, thick thighs as thick as Italian hams, Mario high-fives Luigi, letting the golden handle dangle down by his dangly balls. Yeah, next time.
Oh my god.
Shadow heads over to his locker, a little weirded out by the vibe Sonic's giving off right now, and decides to get change. Mario and Luigi are talking as they undress, and Sonic keeps his eyes close to the twin plumbers unclogging their clothes.
Oh my god.
Sonic knew they had to be juicing or something, because there's no way they could gain such muscular definition in such a short time. Packs that glisten with sweat of a gold medalist, arms like tree trunks, cum gutters so deep not even Hurricane Sandy herself could fill them. Sonic was fed up, so he marched over to confront them. Hey, plumber boys, I need a word with you. Mario and Luigi, shirts off but pants still on and bulging, turn to a frustrated Sonic. Oh no! Mario exclaims, in one of the only few ways he can't speak. Yeah, oh no is right, Sonic continues. There's no way you two bozos could have beaten us in that ski race. It's a classic Winter Olympic sport, I guess. You cheated, I know it. Wah! Luigi shouts. Mario looks shocked, as he's trained on Princess Peach's birthday cake stage for Mario Party every day to prepare for this moment. He was offended at the insinuation of cheating. Oh yeah, Mario asked, but in kind of a way that he can, but the inflection was kind of more like a question than a statement, but you get it. Yeah, I bet these rippling muscles aren't even real. Sonic grabs Mario by the arm and feels his bulging biceps. That's when it happened. That's when something sparked. Mario and plants a big smoocherino right on the kisser, trying to get poked in the eye by his weird long nose. Sonic, shocked by this, pulls away for a second. Mario gives him a fuck look. Something in his eyes drove Sonic back to that time where the two rivals were lovers, fucking at the speed of sound at the Mario and Sonic Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Only for the Wii U. This moment, something about it, made him want to go supersonic again. Sonic goes in and resumes their passionate kiss. This kiss kind of goes on for a little while, and then they start undressing each other. Mario unbuckles his pants to reveal his thick, giant, veiny cock, and Sonic reaches into the area where he hides his genitals when he's the main character in games. That's why you never see them, and pulls out whatever blue furry cock that is. The two men, I guess Sonic is a man, stroke each other until they're as hard as Koopa shells. That's when Sonic felt something on his back, and it was Luigi's vacuum hose of a dick. Yeah, he couldn't control himself any longer, watching this blue hedgehog and his brother, who, for the purposes of this canon, did not grow up together and met as adults and aren't actually really brother-rated, so this is all fine. But they're fun. The tip of his dick became sticky with cum. The three men, I guess Sonic is a man, are pressed together, flattening each other, creating a blue hedgehog sandwich, but this time with extra mayonnaise.
Oh my god.
Mario grabs Sonic's weird head hair and shoves his cock into his mouth. Sonic gags by the sheer size and veininess of it. Now that he's bent over, this was the perfect opportunity for Luigi to use his tongue to collect all of the gold ring that was his bussy.
Just like a Garfussy.
Mm-hmm. The two brothers filled Sonic's holes with their tongue and cock respectively, and Sonic was dripping. He wanted more, so he signals Luigi to give him his cock for a fucking. Luigi happily obliged, knowing his thinner cock was only a warm-up for Mario's meaty masterpiece. Getting plowed at both ends, Sonic used his super speed to rapidly do Kegels with his butt and tongue movements that made them both come in unison. Mamma mia! Luigi pulled out his icing-caked cock from Sonic's now gaping hole, exhausted. He laid down on the bench, but Mario has the stamina to keep it up. Mario reaches into his locker behind him and grabs out a bottle of lube with a little mushroom logo on it. He generously applies it to his cock, and his cock grows in size. You know, like the mushrooms in the game. Sonic has his face on the coarse locker room floor, spread up his plump cheeks so wide so Mario can slide his fat mushroom-laced cock into his guts. The minute Mario inserts himself completely into Sonic, he could feel the tip of his dick at the back of his throat. Mario slides. Mario slides in and out, taking care not to completely redistribute Sonic's internal organs. Luigi, though exhausted, starts getting hard once more. But Sonic's mouth was now occupied by the body-length penis of Mario. There was no way he could fit it in there. Looking for something, big boy? Luigi turns around to find Shadow, oiled up and ready for insertion. Luigi does one of those flutter jumps that he's really known for in excitement and sticks his deep cock into Shadow. Poor Sonic was still getting fucked slowly by Mario's gargantuan salami, and he wanted more. As Mario pulls out, allowing him to speak and turn his head, he faces the mustachio lover and tells him, "Gotta go fast." Mario then takes out a little bottle of poppers with the star logo on it, takes a big whiff. And the star music starts playing around them as they fuck raw, hard, and fast. And if we can get like the star music in the background in post, that would be great, but I know that it's copyrighted, so maybe not.
Well, I've been thinking while you've been reading this that, you know, this will be fine if we put this online, because if there are two organizations that are famously not litigious at all, it's Nintendo and the Olympics.
Luigi does the same. And both Sonic and Shadow are flopping around those large cocks like ragdolls in a dryer, only it's hotter. Finally, as the star music comes to a close, all the men explode in an ecstasy symphony of gold rings and coins. So much so that Scrooge McDuck came, too, wherever he is.
What? Disney too?
As Mario and Luigi slide out of their respective hogs,
Oh my god.
they're all flopping on the floor, drenched in both the Olympic events and their cum. Tails walks by the group, exhausted from their fuckfest, and huffs. Aw, Sonic-kun, when is it going to be my turn to get railed so hard I deflate? All of a sudden, a gloved hand grabs his twin cheeks and pulls him closer and whispers, "It's Wario time."
Yeah!
That's it.
Oh.
Yeah, grilled fruit. I was like, what is he gonna love more than Sonic porn? So there we go.
Yeah,
Sonic and Mario.
it writes itself, really. You know, like.
Yeah, I wrote that an hour ago. Could not figure out what I was gonna do. Mario and Sonic Olympics popped into my head, and there we go.
That's
You're
brilliant.
welcome, everybody.
Perfect, thank you. I will cherish
I'm
it.
so happy.
I will put it under my bed and look at it every night.
That one's going right up on the fridge.
Yeah.
It's so funny because we discussed beforehand who's the more intense one, and I think, Chris, you definitely have more sex than mine does.
Great.
Yeah. This is, I think, the third episode in a row that that has begun with a sort of inaccurate assessment of who's got the most graphic story.
We're going to see the difference between anal sex described by a gay man and anal sex described by a bi woman who has not participated in anal sex before.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that'll be mine too.
There's nothing I love more than a motif. Time for a change of pace, I guess. We're going to... Now that that's got everybody good and worked up, we're going to let out a little bit of steam from this valve. And we're going to play a bonus game. This is a game called A Rose by Any Other Name. How it works is very simple. I'm going to give you the title of a story I found on fanfiction.net today, and only the title. And based on the title, I would like you to try and guess the fandom or property that the story is about.
Sounds
Good.
good.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Perfect. All right. The first story that I found was called Love Charles.
Love Simon.
All right.
Maybe?
I'm going to be, it's like the stylings of Love Simon, but it's actually Prince Charles
Darwin?
writing to Diana and being like, I'm sorry, I fucked up.
Okay.
It's okay. So mine is Charles Dickens, and it's a time travel piece, where Charles Dickens fucks all of his characters.
Oh.
Sorry,
Okay.
hang on a second. A time travel. Do you think Charles Dickens was writing about real people in the past?
Fine, he goes into his books, okay? He goes into his books. And he fucks them all.
Okay. I'm changing mine. Mine's going to be, it's Love Simon. And it's not Love Simon,
Yeah.
but it's Charles E. Ray from Chucky.
Ooh.
I want to read that. If that were read it so hard.
Oh.
So you're
I
all
love
wrong.
Yeah. Wrong? Interesting.
Oh. You are weird.
Charles Dickens. I guess.
I don't know.
You know what? I'm gonna give everybody another guess, and I want
Okay.
you to think about the theme of the episode.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay, I had another idea. I think Love Charles is about between Charles Xavier and Magneto from X-Men.
Oh.
Nailed it. Bridget gets the
Bridget
point.
got it?
Damn it.
Damn it.
I was going to
Bridget.
say Charlie Brown.
Nice.
They call him Charles.
Charles Brown.
Yeah, he's older now. It's more appropriate.
It's all grown up.
He goes by Charles.
Snoopy died 15
Yeah.
years ago.
It's a real Rugrats all grown up situation.
Yes.
It is in fact, it's a story between Professor X and
Oh,
Magneto.
that makes so much
Well,
sense.
there we go.
Damn it.
Bridget, you did it.
You did it, Bridget. You
Well,
did
I
it.
mean, it had to actually. My thing is, famously, I'm really bad at this game because I go with my gut instinct, and my gut instinct is so niche.
Yeah, mine too.
When you sit there and you think about it, you're like, oh, wait. Okay, yeah.
More than once during this game, I think you have guessed that the franchise in question was the Miami Heat, the basketball team, which it has never been.
Oh, Lord.
You know, the very famous fandom of the Miami Heat.
The Miami Heat.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the second title that I have for you is simply Ears.
Ears.
Dumbo?
Dumbo.
Is it Dumbo and they all fuck at the circus?
Yeah, see, that was mine, but I was like, no, that's not it.
Something big top.
Yeah.
Is it Harry Potter where they have, like the extendo ears that somebody uses?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Dobby.
Oh, right.
It's Dobby.
No, but like
ears.
the Weasley twins, they invented like the extendo ears and they use it to like spy on the adults. Why
Yeah.
if it was Harry spies on Draco or
So
something?
they use it to listen to their parents fuck.
It's
Well, if it was Dobby, it would be that somebody fucked him in the ear. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
it's incredible that Bridget is, I think, maybe the only guest that I ever have on the show that I feel so comfortable berating constantly for getting things wrong. It's such a niche thing. The fucking ear extender listeners from Harry Potter. Why would it possibly be that
You don't know.
specifically?
That's the only ear I can think of.
Why would
I thought of Dumbo.
like Dumbo? That makes sense.
No,
Like his whole thing.
His whole thing is ears.
He's got
That's true.
giant ears that he can use to fly. I understand the guess. Like it makes sense.
I don't know, guys. I'm very neurodivergent. I don't know. I don't know how to explain my brain.
I like you, Blaine.
It's always been this way, guys.
God, what would be ears? I haven't even guessed.
So I'm soft locking it in. It's Harry Potter.
Okay. All right.
Soft locked Harry Potter. Oh my god. Who has I don't know. I'm gonna go with Dumbo because that was my only thought too.
You're gonna also go with Dumbo.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go with Dumbo.
Why not?
All right.
Go-
So we got
All or nothing
two
on
guesses.
this.
2 guesses for Dumbo and 1 guess for Harry Potter.
You pick the game, Paul.
Yeah.
I'm just playing
Tough
it.
guesses. I know. Yeah. All right. Oh, nobody's gonna get a point on this one. It was Star Trek
Oh.
between
That
Kirk
makes sense.
and Commander Spock.
Oh, fuck.
Well,
That
because
Because
makes
he's got
sense.
pointy ears.
He's got pointy ears.
Damn it.
Yeah, they're rivals. There we
Oh my
go.
god, Legolas could have been one. Now it's like flooding.
now
My
it's-
brain's
yeah.
flooding with like weird ear people.
That's the thing. It's like, you watch people do game shows on TV and you sort of you can crap on them for these guesses that are completely ridiculous, but it's a difficult thing to do when the pressure's on and the lights are up.
100%.
It's hard to think,
Yeah, 100%.
which is why I only make fun of Bridget.
But we're in our bedrooms. It's pretty low stakes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Bridget is leading 1-0 to 0,
Nice.
and we've got one more.
Okay.
We've got one more title, and that title is "Blows to the Heart."
Finding Dory.
Ooh.
Explain.
Because they blow water like a no. I'm gonna remove that. Not even Nemo. Dory. First thought.
Dory. Finding Dory.
Suicide Squad? I'm just thinking the guns. I don't know.
I'm gonna actually. It might be apropos to this podcast, but Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give you that. It's Karate Kid.
Oh, Bridget,
So it's
Holy shit.
it's a story with an original character written in.
Of course
Who
it is.
goes-
Okay. All right.
Arrives to the valley, and immediately Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso are fighting over her.
Of course.
Great.
Jesus Christ.
Sounds like actually
Yeah.
Cobra Kai though.
Sounds
Yeah,
like
that
my
does
fan
sound like Cobra Kai.
fiction.
They made very clear in the description to note that this is a complete top to bottom rewrite of the first movie.
That's so
Wow.
I
Yeah.
love 12-years.
There's no more Allie. There's just this OT.
Yeah, this
I mean-
12-year-old is weirdly obsessed with
OC, yeah.
80s culture.
I love it. So this is their fascination. This is where their art comes from. I love that for them.
Yeah.
Well, great. Bridget gets 2 points.
Holy shit! I've never won this round.
Your friends are
Crushed it.
stupid.
Yeah, You haven't played against me and Candace. Famously bad.
Chris, one of my answers was extendo ear. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I think that's clever.
I said Finding Dory. Because fish blow water.
To be
More like
fair,
the movie blows. Am I right, guys? Oh my god.
Bridget's first guess on that first title was Prince Charles writing a letter to Princess Diana, and I don't think even I'm that callous that I would put a Princess Diana fanfiction.
Honestly, sounds amazing. I'm gonna go and look on Archive of Our Own to see if there's any Princess Diana.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, there's Princess Diana fanfiction in theaters right now, and that's gonna
true.
Maybe win some Oscars.
Yep.
So
Spencer was great.
I like thinking of her just running through that field.
That's all the movie was, and
I
she's
know.
gonna win an Oscar for it.
I know. I knew.
hey, I'm good
It's
work
either
if you
her
can
or
get
Lady
it.
Gaga, who played a Muppet Italian in House of Gucci.
Did you guys see the so the funniest thing is that Lady Gaga never spoke to the woman that she was portraying. Like, she never wanted to even
No, she didn't want to meet her. I think...
She method acted for 11 months and almost ruined her life for it, but why would she talk to the original source?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, so funny.
Oh my god.
Father, son, House of Gucci.
Next, it's a story from Candace Meeks.
Yay!
Alrighty. Okay, guys, this story is called For the Love of Karate. And you might see some familiar people. All right, I'm going to start now. Ralph Macchio was sitting in his dressing room going over scripts for season 4 of Cobra Kai. He traced his finger over the name Johnny Lawrence, played by his very best friend, William Zabka. Will is such a good actor, he thought wistfully as he flipped through the pages. He deserves a much more lustrous career. The man was nominated for an Oscar, for God's sakes. They may have played rivals on Cobra Kai, but in real life, nothing could have been further from the truth. In fact, they'd become closer than ever from the success of the show. It allowed them to relive their youth in a healthy way. When they weren't busy with press junkets, they could be found driving around LA in Zabka's red Corvette. Ralph could picture William's blonde hair blowing in the wind. He imagined himself holding his hand or placing a hand on his knee. No, you shouldn't think these things. They were friends. Just friends. Just then, Will appeared at the door, as if Ralph had conjured him. He had a bit of overnight shadow, not yet having sat in the makeup chair that day. His hair was windblown, as if he had been taking a ride in the car, just as Ralph had imagined him. He looked hot. No, Ralph, you have to stop thinking like this, he told himself. He's your best friend. Hey, buddy, Zabka said, brushing a hand through his hair. Ralph jumped up from his chair to hug his friend. Will, it's so good to see you. They both held each other tightly, lingering on the hug. Was Ralph imagining this too? Will pulled away suddenly. Hey, I wanted to talk to you about making some changes to the season of the show. Okay, sure. What did you have in mind? So, you know how Danny and Johnny are finally going from rivals to actual friends this season? Well, what if we took things one step further and made it friends to lovers? Pardon me? Was Ralph hearing what he thought he was hearing? I know, it sounds crazy, but hear me out. Isn't it a more compelling story if they not only realize that they really like each other, but they also love each other? Yes. I love this idea. They were in love all along. Like Harry and Draco. Yeah, man. Exactly like that. I'm so glad we're on the same page about this. I was also thinking, what if they kissed? Ralph felt like his soul had left his body. Once he caught his breath, he managed to sputter out, kissed? Yeah, you're right. That's taking things too far. Forget I said anything. William turned to leave. He looked mortified. No. Ralph ran past him to close the door.
He stood in front of it as he said, "No, it's risky for sure, but it definitely adds to the story." Relief washed over Will's face. "I'm so happy you agree," he said with a big smile spreading across his face. One more thing." Zabka inched closer to Ralph. Ralph felt himself hit the door behind him. "Yes?" Ralph stuttered, realizing Will's face was now very close to his own. "The execs, they're gonna want to know that we have chemistry to make this work. Don't you think we should practice?" Ralph felt like he couldn't breathe. "Sure. Yeah, that makes sense." William took that as consent. "Good." He lowered his lips onto Ralph's and kissed him softly. Ralph's head was spinning. He couldn't believe this was actually happening. He reciprocated the kiss with more force, grabbing onto Will's shirt. Will pulled away for a second suddenly, breathing heavily and staring at Ralph with bewilderment in his eyes. He kissed Ralph again, hungrily, pushing his lips open with his tongue. Suddenly, they were transported into an 80s music video. White Snake was playing, and they were making out on the hood of William Zabka's red Corvette. It was everything Ralph had dreamed of and more. Will moved his hands down to his own belt. "I've been waiting for this for so long, man. Do you want to suck it?" Ralph gulps and nods. Will undid his belt quickly as Ralph got on his knees. Will pulled his pants and boxers down to reveal his massive and rock-hard cock. Ralph gently put his lips on the tip and began to suck, taking more and more of him into his mouth as Will moaned with pleasure. He released his dick from his mouth with an audible pop and began to lick his tip, causing Will to twitch at the sensation. "Oh, that feels so good," he moaned as Ralph began to lick the underside of his dick from tip to balls before devouring it again. Will couldn't take it anymore. As Ralph went deeper, he screamed, "I'm gonna come!" He released into Ralph's mouth. Ralph swallowed it, wiping his mouth as he stood up. "Pull your pants down and turn around," Will said in a husky voice, his eyes dark. Ralph obeyed. "Do you need a condom?" he asked. "I have one right here." Will took a condom out of his jeans pocket and ripped the wrapper open with his teeth. He slid it onto his huge dick. "Are you ready for me?" Ralph nodded as he bent over his desk. Will spit on his hand and rubbed it along his penis. He then gently glided into Ralph's gaping asshole. Ralph whimpered. It hurt, but it felt so good. Will was about to lose it. He started pumping faster and faster, grabbing Ralph's hips to go deeper. "Ah, Daddy!" Ralph screamed as he came, getting ejaculate all over himself and the desk. That was enough to make William come hard and fast, still inside Ralph. He collapsed on top of Ralph and both of them panted heavily. Down the hall, in another dressing room, the other two stars of Cobra Kai were having some fun of their own. "Say I'm hotter than Addison Rae! Say I'm hotter than Addison Rae!" Sholo Maradona screamed as he pounded at Tanner Buchanan's ass. You are! Tanner panted as Sholo reached across to stroke his hard dick. Sholo really was hotter than Tanner's girlfriend, internet celebrity Addison Rae, who was only 21, but looked closer to 35 with all the makeup she caked onto her otherwise pretty face. Sholo was beautiful enough to be a model, and the perfect mix of femme and mask. His cross earrings dangled from his ears, while his sexy beard of dark, nearly black hair had to be shaven off for the show. "Good. Remember you're mine, baby. All mine," Sholo said as he slammed into Tanner's ass. "Yes, Daddy," Tanner moaned. Just as they were about to come together, the door opened. "Okay, TikTok fam, we're gonna wish my man Tanner a happy first day back for Cobra Kai Season 4! It was Tanner's girlfriend, Addison Rae. She was live streaming to her 86 million Instagram followers. Addison screamed when she saw what she had walked in on. "I knew it! I knew you were cheating on me with Sholo Maradona. He's so much hotter than I am. Addison, I'm sorry. Tanner said as he came. Sholo wasn't far behind, blowing a huge load into Tanner. Instagram saw it all, and the constant ding of comments could be heard as Addison stood there, 10 pounds of makeup streaming down her face. He really is hotter than her. Oh my god, hard eyes, love is love. The next day, two new couples walked proudly into the studio.
Ralph Macchio and William Zabka, and Sholo Mirduna and Tanner Buchanan. Ralph and Zabka both divorced their wives. Tanner broke up with Addison, who did a massive takedown of both him and Sholo on her TikTok while teaching a dance she appropriated from Black creators. Sholo was already fully out, so he was just happy to be included. The end.
Yay!
Oh my god!
Well, it's going to be really awkward when I have Addison Rae on in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
They's all that.
Yes. What a way to pull at the end.
Oh, iconic. Oh, that was so fun. We watched that movie and we were like, I wish our podcast was still around. We would talk about that movie for hours.
Same. I watched it and I was like, fuck this movie.
I said, what the fuck is happening like 25 times.
That movie has a weird obsession with scatology. Like, there's so much poop in it.
Really?
Yes.
They have like a meet cute scene where they just throw poop at each other.
Yeah, it's so bizarre.
Yes, they do.
It's their meet cute. They throw horse shit at each other. It's so strange.
And now it's time for our MVPs and favorite moments.
My MVP is the clearly little sister who like is so trying hard to get her brother laid.
The MVP is definitely Matt Laird, who was the principal on the intercom for the whole movie and then shows up at the end.
I know, it's amazing.
Amazing.
Wow, we really just did our podcast.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm not only policing, but I'm also occupying.
I appreciate it.
The one who police do if an occupy.
One thing I will say about He's All That made no sense to me was if they're gonna have Rachel Lee Cook in it, why isn't she just the same girl? Like, why isn't she just Janie from She's All That? And then you don't ever see Freddie Prinze Jr., but they are married, or they just got divorced, or he's on a fucking business trip. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
So what is Freddie Prinze Jr. doing right now that he couldn't be in He's All That?
I don't know. He's a chef now.
Ugh, I know. It's all or none at all, you know?
Exactly.
I guess that's what all or none means, but... Beat you to it, Paul. I'm roasting myself.
I wasn't going to say anything that time.
I also just find William Zabka really hot. So
yes, she does.
Yes.
Candace and I have loved watching Cobra Kai. I feel like we agree on this, is that we don't quite understand the general consensus from at least mutual friends of not liking the later seasons, because we think it's just like the show's lit. It keeps happening. It keeps delivering.
Looney Tunes.
It's loony. It's karate lunacy, and I love it.
It's fucking
a cartoon. It's great.
And William Zabka is hot the whole fucking time. So
yes,
the whole fucking time. It's great.
Bangable
and insane, like certifiably insane.
Oh yeah, that's hot
Yeah.
though.
It's all that. It's sort of Gonzo soap opera stuff, and then also children beating the shit out of each other.
Yes, they're the most violent
Fucking
children
rad
in
as hell.
America.
There's kids get their arms broken. Paralyzed people can walk again. There's breaking and entering. There's full assaults.
Yeah, my favorite plotline currently is the main kid, Miguel, being like, I don't know if I'm going to get into Stanford. I'm like, bitch, you just learned how to walk miraculously. Your story's amazing. Like,
write that in your college application, you fuck.
It's just, I love it. Ugh.
And I think Karate Champion is a pretty good extracurricular.
Yeah, that's true. Like a kid who almost has killed other kids with his bare hands.
Not only Karate Champion, but then was paralyzed, regained mobility, and then came in third again.
Oh no!
Sorry,
spoilers.
spoilers.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, we want him to go
We're
all the way.
rude dudes. We spoiler.
Ugh, he's my number one. I was really rooting for him.
That's true, because Sam's my number 0.
Hawk won fairly. I loved it.
I love Hawk.
Yeah, redemption for Hawk. Redemption for Hawk, Candace.
I know, we love Hawk.
This is a Hawk Stan
It's a
podcast.
Hawk Stan account.
Hawk Redemption is just as good as Zuko.
Yes, truly. He really does a really good job of ebbing and flowing. He really hits the bottom at the end of the 3rd season, and then for season 4, he really earns his way back into everybody's good graces.
Arc.
Oh my god, he's
It's
great. Yeah, that's it. We stand great redemption arcs here on this podcast.
Mm-hmm. Here on Paul's podcast that we are commandeering.
Yeah. Paul, do you have a game for us?
Yeah, I do. This game is called Fill That Gap.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my god.
How it works, I'm going to read the beginning of an excerpt from a story that I found on fanfiction.net, and I would like you all to take a crack at finishing the excerpt. It could be a single word, it could be a phrase, it could be a full sentence. And I will arbitrarily decide whoever was closest to the actual thing.
Okay, so you want to know what is the worst thing for a neurodivergent brain?
This.
This.
Filling the gap.
Oh, there's so much choice. It's so much pressure to have syntax.
It's true. You're hurting us, Paul. You proud of yourself?
There's no pressure to have syntax at all. It's fanfiction.
Ugh,
All right, give
I'm
it to
ready.
me.
Here we go.
Our first excerpt begins. Good morning, Ash. I'm pretty sore from last night. Why did you have to go so hard on me? Asked Gary, returning his kiss before heading to the bathroom. I can't help it. You were pretty cute last night, replied Ash, smiling as he thought about
Pokeballs.
Pokeballs.
Gengar's tongue.
Smiling as he thought about Gengar's tongue. All right.
I guess smiling as he saw Gary's balls jingle away like they were the bestest of master balls. And also, what was inside the GC ball? Remember that from...
Yeah, it's all this.
It was like you had to go... what was
Bridget
it?
won.
Bridget wrote this herself, so she knows.
Yeah, also, Bridget, canonically, it's Sarah B in the GS ball.
Sarah
but they
B?
couldn't open... But
They
they
never
rewrote
opened-
that to like have it not be that. So
Right? Yes, that's Orange Islands is when I fell off because I was like, this is going nowhere. Nowhere soon.
I fell off in Diamond and Pearl because I watched it too late into adulthood.
You're a braver man than I.
The actual excerpt goes, Good morning, Ash. I'm pretty sore from last night. Why did you have to go so hard on me? Asked Gary, returning his kiss before heading to the bathroom. I can't help it. You were pretty cute last night, replied Ash, smiling as he thought about how cute his husband was last night.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
fuck that.
What a way to reveal that.
Thanks, I hate it. Should have been about Gengar and a haunted house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing about Gengar's tongue, but a little bit about sort of the recursiveness of
I guess
fanfiction.
Bridget won.
Huh.
Because I did talk about
she's the only
Gary.
one who had I said Pokeballs, and I meant to say
Specifically-
Gary's Pokeballs, but Bridget was the only one who mentioned
Bridget
Gary.
actually did.
So
I think you're right. We'll give a point to Bridget.
Oh my god.
really working against
That's-
myself here.
This episode is a mirror verse. Like,
That's from the story "Love Is a Mood"
Oh.
by Ash Ketchum Forever.
Oh my god. Oh,
Love is a
yeah.
mood. You're
Love is a
right.
mood. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, big mood.
Our second excerpt begins. Ivan felt his arousal grow at the sight of his own marks before slowly leaning in to kiss Rocky. Time stopped. Ivan couldn't tell how long, but as they kissed, he felt something he never had before. This is blank.
Sparta.
Oh, that's what I was gonna
This
say.
is Sparta. Okay.
Okay, I'll give that to you. I'll say this is love. That was my. But it wasn't funny. That is not funny. It's
No,
fantastic love.
I'm gonna say this is the best feeling in the world.
I'm gonna give a point to Chris.
oh, I haven't said anything yet.
Yeah, Bridget didn't say anything.
Oh my gosh,
Sorry. I mean, I was going to say also something. Oh, no, but now it's ruined because I also was on the love track. But now
Well,
that you're giving him a point,
I-
it's going to
well,
sound like
I
I'm
mean-
stealing it. So I don't know. I was like, this is not the love he felt when he was in Russia.
okay. I'm still gonna give a point to Chris. So the full excerpt. Ivan felt his arousal grow at the sight of his own marks before slowly leaning in to kiss Rocky. Time stopped. Ivan couldn't tell how long, but as they kissed, he felt something he had never felt before. This is Lyublyu,
Love.
which is Russian for love.
Oh.
Ostensibly, that's not actually Russian for love. That's like a poorly conjugated. How that would literally translate is "This is I love."
All right.
Oh.
Like it's like saying like in Japanese, ski des. And you're like, I guess. But
Yeah, like they just ran it through Google Translate and
I can't
popped it
believe-
on in there.
Why are all these fucking fanfic writers such simps?
They're not funny, Candace. They're 13.
They should
They're
fucking
not
learn
gonna be
comedy.
funny. They're not comedy writers like us. Why am I so angry? I'm so sorry.
I don't know. I love it. I love this
I
energy.
don't know why you're
I mean, I also, like, before the podcast, I wanted to order food. So I ordered food, and it came 15 minutes early. But then my half of the order didn't come, so my boyfriend got to eat, and I didn't.
Oh, I'd be
Oh,
so
no.
mad.
Quick way to be
I'm
grumpy.
like looking at food, being like, I'm so fucking hungry, man.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I don't really want to. It's fine. I don't want to get into it.
We can,
Even though I
we can
did.
we can skip Bridget's story and just end.
No.
No, we gotta hear Bridget's story.
All right.
This story. It's going to ruin our friendship.
Yeah.
So that excerpt was from the story "Mates Really" by Riot is a Boss,
Oh
Okay.
my god.
which is the rare Rocky IV Omegaverse story.
Of course.
Whoa.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Omegaverse.
Bridget knows it well.
Yeah, I know.
Uh,
Damn it.
She knows
Shit,
it
I
too
put
well.
on this podcast, eh? Like, criminal. I'm a criminal. Okay, anyway.
I'm gonna make you tell me that story when we stop recording. I want to know what the police. I still want to know.
If you want to hear that
Alright.
story, you can go to Rude Dude Takedowns at just online. It's not an email address.
Just online.
Always be plug-in.
I guess. All right. The final excerpt begins. Big, pale hands slide under Freddy's shirt to softly grab hold of caramel hips. Freddy's heart hammers as he feels.
Hard.
It feels hard.
Yeah.
To the point. I like it.
As he feels Freddy's strong hands. Or not Freddy's, Jason's strong hands.
Okay.
As he feels his pants get tight.
Ooh, boy.
Who was closest?
You know, it's. I guess. It's sort of halfway between Bridget and Candace here.
Yeah, it's a Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger, but his
it
pants
is
are tightening.
It is Jason Voorhees.
I
yeah.
knew it.
The full excerpt goes, big pale hands slide under Freddy's shirt to softly grab hold of caramel hips, which caramel?
It's a
Yeah,
way to
right?
describe a bird
Yeah.
victim, but
I
okay.
guess, yeah.
Caramel? Jesus.
Anyway, to softly grab hold of caramel hips, Freddy's heart hammers as he feels Jason hardening in his sweats.
I said hard.
Oh my god. Okay.
You did say hard.
I
It's,
said
you know,
hard. I said pants. Yeah, I guess I didn't think about the fact that he wouldn't be
And-
wearing
and-
jeans.
and Bridget said Jason, so.
Oh fuck.
Everybody gets a point.
Yay!
Just as the communists decreed.
And by a score of 2-1, Bridget wins the game.
This is insane,
Wait,
guys.
no, that's not right. It's 2-1.
Yeah, we
Bridget
tied.
and Chris win the game.
Oh yay! I win nothing as per usual.
You're doing great.
It's fine.
Just the same, Candace. We'll be just the same.
It's true.
It's fine. I'm just a loser.
Yeah, but you make the podcast like 100% hotter, so...
Yeah.
Oh my god, thank you.
Oh, I guess that's a fun segue of telling about my... Is it me? It's me next, right?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Great. As is tradition every time on this podcast, I have to provide a little bit of backstory of what's happening. So this is called a friendfic. So a friendfic is when you write about people you know, which has gotten me in trouble before with the police when I was 11. So
Jesus.
No context given.
No context given. Just suffice to say, it was a Hitchhiker's Guide fanfic about a banana. And that's all we're gonna get, which sounds very Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy when I really say it. But anyway, today's fic is about us. It's about the Rude Dudes. The Rude Dudes Takedown. It's called The Rude Dudes Get Takedowned. A little bit of backstory. If you don't know, no one would know this. Why would they know this? Candace
why
hasn't
does
told
anybody
anyone
know
this.
this? I don't tell anybody this.
She hasn't told this. Candace acquired a troll over the pandemic.
Yeah, I just found this out.
Yeah, so Candace
Acquired a troll?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a internet harassment going on pretty majorly. On all of my social media platforms. I had to make them private, and I had to like go through my list and delete people. Yeah, it was psychologically damaging.
So I made a fanfic
but also
about
funny.
it.
But also was funny.
It was. Because one of the things that resulted because of this person is that our podcast has been on hiatus relatively, maybe permanently, for over a year now. And they left a 1-star review. And it's our only 1-star review out of 7. So it's like, so the funniest thing about it is that they didn't leave any words. They didn't say anything. They just literally found Candace's podcast and said, 1 star, fuck you. And so I've written a fanfic about us discovering who the troll is. Based on the oeuvre of the lore of the Rude Dudes Takedown podcast. So if you're a super, this is from the perspective of a super fan who's listened to our podcast.
Okay, I mean, before we start, I also have to say that this is the first time that a shitty man has used our podcast to get at Candace.
Yes, it's the second time.
Second time.
Oh my gosh.
We collect them. We collect them like bag. But anyway, so this
is the first one, KJ Appa. And
yeah, KJ Appa. God, can you imagine?
Yeah. He
just
could
angry
not
about
stop sending us videos of him doing weird voguing.
He wants to get on RuPaul's Drag Race, so bad!
Free Fifi.
Give him a chance! Give him a chance.
No.
This story is absurdly long. Please, everyone, if you need a drink, audience, if you want to get yourself something nice and warm and cozy, because a lot of this is about touching about, I think, a lot of themes that we're feeling right now in the pandemic about isolation and distance and time. And so I present to you Rude Dudes Get Take Down. Chapter 1. Time dies. Had time torn them apart, or was this friendship merely never meant to be? It had been 10 long years since the Rude Dudes Takedown cultural commentary podcast had ended. The year was 2031, and Bridget was in a 4th hour in a row, aimlessly wandering the virtual Dufferin Mall in the metaverse. Zuckerberg had really outdone himself, as it really did feel like the same old dirty Duff. She was actively ignoring the package sitting on her single-bedroom apartment overlooking the Parisian countryside. It was addressed only to a rude dude. Her stomach had fallen like a rock. She didn't want to be reminded of that time. The good old days where she, Candace, and Chris were so young, so hopeful. But then it happened. The troll. At first, the troll targeted Candace. It seemed like a desperate ploy to get her attention, but Candace was resilient, and so it escalated. They left a single 1-star review on their small podcast a year after they had already taken a full hiatus. The troll began to systematically stalk and harass all 3 of them, divide and conquer. They were never able to find the identity of the troll, and the police were unhelpful. Author's note, ACAB. Why had this troll come so hard for them when their podcast only had about 100 listeners? Most of them were from that one episode that was popular in Mexico for some reason. No, Bridget thought, shaking her head. She couldn't blame the troll for everything. They had just grown apart, as normal adults do. COVID was hard, and you had to make priorities, you know? There wasn't a great conspiracy to end the podcast. That was crazy talk. A flash of an instant message in her Apple brain chip popped up. It was Candace. Hey, did you get a package too? She had texted. Hey Siri, brain text, yeah, but I haven't opened it to Candace. Oh my god, Siri's actually doing this right now. Fuck, Siri, no. Text, yeah, but I haven't opened it to Candace. And make sure the I isn't capitalized, Bridget said out loud to the Apple chip. There was barely a pause when suddenly a message in all caps, you need to open it now. Bridget was surprised by the sudden hostility. Candace could be scary, but she wasn't demanding. Cautiously, Bridget took off her VR set and picked up the brown paper wrap package. She opened it carefully and slowly. She gasped. dropping the package on the floor. Inside, there was a picture of the entire cast of Riverdale with their faces X'd out with permanent marker and the severed fingers of Roberto Aguirre Sacasa. Note, as a Riverdale superfan, of course you would instantly recognize the creator of Riverdale's fingers. And a single note that read, "Come to the place where this all started, the story of the town." The softest of gas escaped Bridget's mouth. She had to go where all of this started. She had to go to the set of Riverdale. Chapter 2, the story of a town. Riverdale was in its 16th season. Archie had returned from space. Betty was an undead, reanimated corpse gallivanting around Europe looking for Jack the Ripper. Jughead had started an underground revolution with the Rat King from season 6, and Ron was running the Mafia still. They never gave her new plot lines, damn it. But Riverdale was in its winter hiatus, so the Rude Dudes were able to reunite unimpeded on the set. Bridget entered the doorway of Prop's Diner, and there she saw them. Chris, now a successful magazine writer for the Beaver Blitz, had just celebrated winning the Pulitzer for his interview with Joe Rogan, where he had got him to admit he enjoyed cucking. And Candace had married rich and ran a glamorous online-style boutique that serviced famous activists and their pets all over the world. Celine Dion was one of them. Bridget was a little embarrassed of her life. Dropping everything and living out her Emily in Paris dreams in Paris had not panned out quite like she thought it would. Instead of living a glamorous life, she had become lonely, dressed in black more than ever, and wore a sequins pink beret to every function, including now. Well, look who it is, Chris said sardonically, although his crow's feet teased he was happy to see his long-lost friend. Wee wee pee pee. Bridget responded because she was good at French. She slipped. She slipped into the booth smiling. God, she had missed this. The three had a brief chuckle, feeling the weight of awkwardness lift. It did not last long, though, as the bell at the door jingled and jangled. Bridget stiffened. She slowly turned, her heart beating loudly in her chest. Could this be the troll? What had happened to Roberto Aguirre Sacasa? Why were they summoned here? All these questions were a maelstrom in her head as she, Candace, and Chris locked eyes with the man in front of them. It was Zack Snyder. No! Chapter 3, Zack versus the Rude Dudes, Dawn of Justice.
Okay.
Holy shit! Candace cried as the three leaped to their feet. Zack Snyder, are you my troll? Yes, the famous Hollywood director grinned. Why? Bridget asked, shocked to see the Justice League director standing before them. Because I listened to your guys' episode on Batman v Superman on your podcast, and you outed me as gay. Wait, what? The three synchronously gasped. It was my secret. I have sex with women to try to hide from the fact. Nobody knew I was gay until you guys came and outed me. And for an LGBT plus friendly pod, that was a real dick move. So since you ruined my life, I decided to ruin yours. Your podcast, that is. He laughed maniacally, flashing his rippling forearms. That's ridiculous, Candace snapped. Yeah. What can we do to get you to leave us alone? Bridget asked, forgetting that Zack Snyder, director of Man of Steel, named Roberto Aguirre Sacasa. Zack Snyder broke out into an evil grin. Have sex with me? What? Wait, all three of us? Bridget said, confused. The three friends looked at each other. Was this really the only way to finally be freed from Snyder's harassment? All I've ever wanted was a three-way pegging from you three. It's the only way you'll make amends, the Watchmen director cooed, licking his lips suggestively. The three of them were visibly tense. Yes, there was some unresolved tension, but to do something like this was crazy, even for them. And if we refuse, Candace quivered, then I'm gonna troll you for the rest of your lives. Plus, I'll take the rest of Roberto Aguirre Sacasa's fingers, and there'll never be a satisfying ending to Riverdale.
Well.
They were too stunned to speak. Not Riverdale. Please. Someone needed to free Lily Reinhardt. A silence fell between the three friends, and they knew what they had to do. Chris' eyes welled up as he turned to Bridget and Candace. Have you guys ever felt the epic highs and lows of a foursome? Chris,
Oh, no.
we love you too, Candace cried, but you don't have to do anything that makes you uncomfortable. No, we have to do this, Bridget said severely, for the pod and for Riverdale. For the pod and for Riverdale, Candace and Chris said in unison, and they sprang into action. Zach undid his sweater vest, revealing a torso covered in thick horse hair, each one like a curly spring bouncing for joy. Candace and Bridget got to work on Zach's already surprisingly hard nipples, as Chris worked vigorously undoing Zach's belt. Candace and Bridget were a storm of teeth and tongue as they suckled and nipped at the dawn of the dead director's chest, leaving small red welts behind. They trailed down his chest, feeling Zach writhe, spreading his arms out like he was Christ the Redeemer come to life. Candace and Bridget joined Chris at the crotch, just as he freed Zach's dick from his trousers. It was beautiful. It was the most masculine, veiny dick one could imagine. This was the dick that directed 300. Yum, Chris cooed as he took the whole dick into his mouth, tenderly pulsing his hand up and down the shaft like a craven dumpster slut. Zach moaned as Bridget spread his cheeks, pressing her nose deep into his crevasse and inhaling. And Candace gargled his balls like a glass of water. They had become a perfect unit to please this man. Years of friendship and passport guarantor experience had led to this moment. Chris pressed Snyder's dick to the back of his throat, his uvula vibrating as he gurgled, a perfect phallic massage. And at that moment, Candace and Bridget began teasing and tangling their fingers in Zach's asshole. Hot cum spurted down Chris's throat, and he could feel his own dick throbbing, desperate for a release. Chris spat Zach out from his ecstasy and saw that Candace and Bridget had both donned strapped-on dildos. They were ready for battle. Zach got on all fours as Bridget, Candace, and Chris got into position. With a wink and a nod, they began to count. 1, 2, 3. Chris took Zach's throat as Candace and Bridget both plunged their strap-ons into Zach's poop hole. Chris grabbed tightly to Zach's hair and thrust his head back and forth. Candace and Bridget began to pump, both fingering each other as they went along. They had become a perfect machine of sex. It almost seemed like they moved in slow motion. Their groans and moans blended together into a symphony with the sucker punch director. Louder and louder they became, all as Pop's diners echoed with their sex noises. Zach's body shook with a tremors of ecstasy as Chris came into his mouth. Candace and Bridget pulled out as a little bit of shit flew out after them. And Zach sat down into a puddle of his own cum. The deed was done. Candace and Bridget finished each other off with a quick scissoring just for good measure. The four sat on the comments. The four sat on the cum and shit-covered floors.
This is cursed.
The four sat on the cum and the shit-covered floors of Pop's diners, panting.
Oh my God.
I learned something today, Bridget finally said as they caught their breath. And what's that? Candace asked, gingerly pushing back a lock of Bridget's hair out of her face. That no matter how much the distance there is between us, true friendship is picking up right where you laugh off and fucking Zack Snyder in the ass. Amen to that, Chris smiled. Now, Zach, Candace chided, you're gonna give Roberta his fingers back. She gave the Legends of the Guardians, the Owls of Gahoo's director a playful grin. I don't know, maybe the cheeky man-child grin. And the foursome laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. The end.
I'd hate to note that, like, as Candace gingerly pushed Bridget's hair. What a pun on Bridget's ginger hair.
Bridget's very ginger hair.
I sometimes am inspired.
She's sometimes inspired.
I'm so sorry. If Chris, you never want to speak to me again, I wouldn't.
I mean, I got to fuck Zack Snyder, which is hot.
I mean,
He
I mean,
is
sure.
constantly attractive to me. So
I know you love him. Well, you don't love him, but you think he's hot.
I want to
His
fuck his throat so he can stop talking about Ayn Rand.
oh boy. I like that you saved the Owls of Gahul for the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just the fact
You
that it's
gotta.
the most longest title.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Well-
I've made this cursed episode. A very cursed
That
episode.
was cursed.
Yeah.
That was cursed. That was a cursed fic. We can never show that to anyone.
Oh boy.
Well, we can't do that to anybody, as we say on a public podcast.
Yeah.
Well,
You do what you gotta do, Paul.
I mean, I guess now we're gonna find out sort of how everybody really thinks using the power of democracy.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's time to go around and decide who we all think should be the winner now that we've heard all of our stories and we've played all of our bonus games. So I guess we'll go in order of who read. So, Chris, who are you going to cast your vote for?
Listen. This is a very tough choice. But at the end of the day, I gotta go with my heart. I'm gonna choose Bridget.
Yeah. Fair.
Oh boy, I know that one.
How'd
hurt,
you,
Chris.
Candace?
I gotta, you know what? I loved Chris's as well. Like, I really did love it. It made me laugh a lot, but I gotta go with Bridget's because it's sick.
It's disgusting. And
Yeah.
what's this podcast about if not disgusting material?
Bridget, who are you going to cast your vote for?
Well, I don't want to vote for myself, but I do if it means like winning means ostracization. You know what I mean? Like, if like the award is you now get sent to the island and no one sees you again, like that would make sense to vote for myself. If that is like the winning,
Unfortunately, like this podcast isn't yet sponsored by Squarespace, so I don't have the money to ship all of my winners off.
Yeah,
so
I don't
what
think-
I would start calling Porno Island.
Yeah.
And you know, we don't have the authority to send you to Guantanamo, so
I think I'll vote for Chris because he probably had the most accurate anal sex.
yeah, you knew what
Yeah.
we don't
Probably
know what it is.
It
probably-
travels through your intestines, all the windy bits, and touches the back of your throat.
Yeah, we don't know any of that
Accurate.
shit, and we never
true, so-
will.
Hedgehog anatomy can be very different. It could be just a straight line.
Yeah, it's true. Could be shorter. Point A to point B.
Yeah.
I am, in fact, you know what? I'm gonna cast my vote for Chris's story as well.
Whoa.
Yes.
A tie.
Because, well, I mean, goddamn, like, I think what really pushes it over the edge for me was specifically the description of Luigi's vacuum hose.
Yeah. That was the part that I thought was so
Like,
fucking gross.
Is it the size of a vacuum hose? Does it have the flexibility of one? Does it have the suction
all seen
power? What are we
Luigi's
doing here?
If you've all played Luigi's Mansion, you know what I'm talking
Yes.
about.
Oh yeah, for
Oh
sure.
yeah. We get it.
Absolutely.
Of course.
So that does bring us into a tie, but for tiebreakers, first tiebreaker is who wrote their own story. You both wrote your own, and the second tiebreaker is the bonus games. And with her victory in the bonus games today, it turns out that the winner of the Rude Dudes Face Off and this episode of The Pen is Mightier is Bridget Cann!
Yay.
Yes, but at what cost? Thank you so much
No.
for having me, Paul.
It was worth it, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, who are we going to piss off with this episode? Zack Snyder, Addison Rae,
Yeah.
Disney.
No.
the estate of Princess Diana, possibly.
Yeah, Addison Rae's 86 million followers are coming for me.
Yeah.
Well,
Possibly those 100 listeners that we have in Mexico.
Yeah.
Thousands. It hit
It was
2,000.
thousands? Oh, that's so
Wow. Good for them.
goddamn.
We have, because our podcast had 100 listeners pretty averagely, and then 1,000 for one episode, randomly.
Yeah, for some reason.
funny. It all came from...
And all of them in Mexico.
All of them came from Mexico. I read the analytics. I don't know what's
We
going
don't
on
know
down
why.
there.
We don't know why.
just
Thank
this
you.
one
What-
episode.
was it an episode about an episode of Riverdale?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Riverdale episode. I just don't
Huh.
know.
They might have just loved that one episode of Riverdale, maybe.
But like, what was it? It was like
It was the lollipop one, wasn't it?
Yeah, lollipop.
Lollipop, lollipop. Maybe they loved the song Lollipop.
Maybe I don't know what SEO magic I did to make it show up in Mexico. But it's there, and you know what? I don't hate it.
No, I love it.
And the final thing that we get to do is plugs. So if anybody has anything that they're working on right now, how about you, Chris?
So you can follow me on Twitter at @actuallychris, and you can keep up with my writing there. That's about it. That's about all I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Candace.
You can follow me on all of the social medias, but they are private now. Oh, my TikTok's not private though, but don't tell my troll. But yeah, it's CC Meeks everywhere except for on Twitter, which is Candace L Meeks.
Great.
Yeah.
And check out My Immortal, the web series.
Oh yeah,
if you're
you can
listening
watch
to
that.
this. That shit is right up your alley.
That's true.
Bridget?
I don't know. I was thinking about launching a pet photography business, but I don't know when that's gonna happen. That's just
Oh my god, they should follow your dog account though. It's a good one.
Yeah. I mostly it's a work in progress on like where I'm moving direction wise, but yeah, you can follow Doe Photog, Dog spelled DOHAG. Yeah, I think that's all that. I mean, there's some things in the pipeline right now, but nothing coming to fruition just yet. But we'll see.
As for me, of course, you can follow along with this show on our Facebook page, The Pen is Mightier, as well as following our parent network, The Podcavern, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more excellent shows like Love Is, Ranked, Disney Dummies, and Heroes Don't Do Paperwork.
Ooh.
So, all that remains is for me to thank everybody so much for coming and having fun with me on this episode. I know I had a blast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had fun. It was fun as hell.
It's like
I didn't even win anything yet again, and it was still fun for me.
It's like old times.
Yeah. Really.
Just like old times. Candace is a loser.
Thanks for letting us commandeer and occupy your podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll
I guess
we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Too. That's the thing.
Yeah, we are rude.
Hell yeah.
We're not plugging
Check
the
out that
things
back
we all do
library.
together, even though it's on hiatus currently.
Yeah, listen to the episodes. Some of the, especially the later episodes, I think are really fun. Really fun.
They're
stuff.
very funny.
Yeah, even if you're... Is there a word for fans of Riverdale?
Oh,
Those riverheads, or Fredheads.
Fredheads. Yeah, Fredheads.
All right, even if you're not a Fredhead, plenty of episodes that are not about Riverdale.
It's true.
But still with that same infectious sense of, hardcore mocking Zack Snyder until he runs you off the internet.
We do have a whole month dedicated to DC
Yeah, we have a whole
movies.
month
So
dedicated.
Yeah, we did dedicate it. So maybe that's why he trolled me.
Is that the new head?
Fair enough.
With love.
It was Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again to the three of you. We had Chris Middleton, we had Candace Meeks, and we had our winner today, Bridget Cann. We're going to see you in 2 weeks for another episode of The Pen is Mightier. But in the meantime, stay safe out there, get your booster, wear a mask, and take care of each other. We love you.
Aww.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.